And so I hence migrated to their new lands. They dwelt not alone, but in cities and villages, and they were clothed. And they tilled the ground and brought forth grains and seeds good to eat, and flax and hemp, from which to make cloth for covering the body. And their food was of every herb and root, and grain and seed, and fruit that comes of the earth. But they did not eat flesh or fish, nor of anything that breathed the breath of life. They toiled by day, bringing within their cities the fruit of their labor, and they slept within their cities and on mounds at night, that they might not be molested by beasts of prey and by serpents. And every city had one chief or rab'bah, head father who knew the way of the Lord. By the rab'bah were the altars of the Lord built, and the times of the sacred days foretold. And the rab'bah made records in writing on stone, which they taught to their successors. And the Great Spirit, the Creator, abode with them. And they kept the commandments and multiplied exceedingly in all the divisions of the world. Nor was there any war in any land under the sun in those days. Within 3,000 years, there were thousands of cities and hundreds of thousands of inhabitants who had spread abroad over the lands of the earth. And they built ships and sailed abroad on the seas and inhabited the islands they discovered, north and south, east and west. But during the last 1,000 years in the lower heavens, there were no resurrections to the higher celestial spheres. Because spiritual darkness in the lower heavens spread up to the higher heavens, the 7 entities of evil took root in Horrid and eventually overspread the dominions of the higher angels. Many of them fell into disbelief of the emancipated higher heavens and so remained in the lower heavens of the earth. They would build up their own heavenly kingdoms for themselves and for their own glory. Many would proclaim themselves gods or lords and obtain followers, some to the extent of attracting millions of souls. And these false gods made slaves of their followers, exacting service, and in return giving pitiful heavenly homes and regimen. They employed the labor of their slaves in embellishing their places in the lower heavens. And in order to have exalted kingdoms, they sent their slaves back to mortals to inspire them with the glory of their false gods' kingdoms, which others in turn might become slaves also. So confusion began in heaven again, and it reacted on mortals through the angels' presence, and war and misery overspread the nations and tribes of men on earth.